15 cars under $7,000 that embarrass $80,000 luxury cars, and dealers are panicking. Because what we are about to reveal could destroy their entire business model of selling you overpriced vehicles that deliver less value than cars you can buy for pocket change. Picture getting a rock-solid sedan or SUV for less than most people spend on a vacation, then pulling up next to someone who paid $80,000 for a luxury car that has worse reliability, higher maintenance costs, and fewer features than your budget ride. We are talking about cars so good they make expensive vehicles look like expensive mistakes wrapped in fancy badges. But here is what luxury car dealers do not want you to know. These budget cars often use the same engines, transmissions, and technology as vehicles that cost 10 times more. The only difference is the badge on the front and the massive markup that pays for fancy showrooms and commissioned salespeople who need to justify why you should pay $80,000 for what you can get for $7,000. The most shocking discovery came from analyzing repair records and total cost of ownership. Some of these cars, under $7,000, have lower maintenance costs per mile than brand new luxury vehicles, while delivering the same comfort, reliability, and features that the expensive cars promise but rarely deliver. Which 15 budget cars are secretly better than luxury vehicles? And why are dealers so desperate to hide the fact that their most expensive cars are often their worst values? The answer starts with the people who see everything the industry tries to conceal, the mechanics and owners on the front lines. Every morning, the shop lights flicker on before sunrise. The first customers roll in before the coffee's even brewed. Out front, the lot is packed with everything from battered old Civics to late-model luxury sedans, each waiting for a verdict only a seasoned mechanic can deliver. The air is thick with the smell of oil and brake dust. But in this world, nothing speaks louder than the sound of an engine that just won't quit. This is where the truth about cars comes out, far from the marble floors and designer suits of a luxury dealership. Here, it's all about how a car holds up after a decade of potholes, snow, and stop-and-go traffic. The shop owner, sleeves rolled up, has seen it all. Hundreds of cars a month pass through his hands, each with its own story, each with its own set of problems, or sometimes a surprising lack of them. Ask any mechanic who's been in the business 20 years, and the answer is always the same. Reliability isn't about a shiny badge or a six-figure sticker price. It's about which cars keep coming back for oil changes, not engine rebuilds. It's about the ones that rack up 200,000 miles with nothing but routine maintenance. It's about which cars owners trust for the daily grind, year after year. Reliability matters more than price. There is a quiet pride among mechanics when they talk about the cars that just don't break. The ones they see in for basic service, tires, brakes, fluids, while the supposed luxury machines sit in the next bay waiting for parts that cost more than a week's paycheck. The shop owner keeps a mental list, models he'd buy for his own family, cars he recommends to friends, and those he wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. It is not about brand loyalty, it's about what survives the real world. In this business, patterns emerge fast. Fleet operators send in dozens of Corollas and Civics, knowing they will leave with nothing more than a new air filter. Young drivers brag about their bargain G35s and Miatas, still running strong after years of hard use. Even the most skeptical customers walk away convinced when their $7,000 sedan outlasts a neighbor's luxury lease. The truth is, the best cars under $7,000 have earned their reputation not in showrooms, but in shops like this, where every rattle, leak, and warning light tells the real story. Mechanics see through the marketing. They know which cars are built to last, and which ones are just built to impress. If you want to know what really embarrasses an $80,000 luxury badge, You start by listening to the people who keep cars alive long after the warranty runs out. Numbers do not play favorites, and in the world of used cars, the data tells a story that luxury dealers hope you never hear. Dig into the repair records and a pattern jumps off the page. Budget cars under $7,000 are not just surviving, they are outlasting and outsmarting vehicles that cost 10 times as much. According to J.D. Power, 2025 Vehicle Dependability Study, brands like Toyota and Honda average 150 to 170 problems per 100 vehicles after 3 years. Stack that up against BMW or Mercedes, which routinely post over 210 problems per 100 vehicles in the same window. It is not a fluke. Consumer Reports surveys show 54% of Toyotas and nearly half of Hondas roll past 200,000 miles. For BMW and Audi, that number drops to less than 30%. The cost difference is just as stark. The savings are real. Annual repair bills for these budget legends hover around $400 to $500 a year. Compare that to $1,200 a year or more that luxury owners pay, not counting the surprise expenses that come with sophisticated electronics or turbocharged engines. Over a decade, that is a $7,000 car saving you 5 figures, enough to buy another reliable used car outright. Fleet operators figured this out years ago. Municipalities and rideshare companies quietly shifted to Corollas, Civics, and CR-Vs for one reason: the numbers work. These cars rack up 150,000 miles with little more than oil changes and brakes, while the luxury sedans they replaced drained budgets with complex repairs and pricey parts. The secret is not just in the badge, it is in the engineering. Many of these so-called budget cars use the same engines, transmissions, and safety technology found in their luxury cousins. The difference is fewer gadgets to break, more miles between breakdowns, and a price tag that does not require a second mortgage. Reliability charts and fleet cost spreadsheets do not lie. When a $6,000 sedan outlasts an $80,000 executive car, the industry's old assumptions start to crumble. This is the hidden market signal that is making dealers sweat. Value is not about what you pay up front, but what you keep in your pocket year after year. And that is before even talking about the performance bargains hiding in plain sight. 3 cars, 3 owners, and 3 stories that leave luxury car drivers wondering what exactly they paid for. On any given weekend, you will find a Civic Si, an Infiniti G35, and a BMW E90 lurking in the far corner of a grocery store lot, hoods up, engines idling, drawing small crowds of people who know what to look for. None of these cars cost more than $7,000, but each one carries a reputation that makes $80,000 luxury sedans seem overbuilt and underwhelming. Start with the Honda Civic Si. For less than the price of a new set of tires on a German luxury car, you get a 197 horsepower engine that begs to be revved, a 6-speed manual that is crisp and direct, and a chassis that has been the backbone of amateur racing for 2 decades. Owners brag about racking up 200,000 miles with nothing more than oil, filters, and the occasional clutch. The SI's secret is not just reliability, it is the way it turns every commute into a joyride. Forums are packed with stories. A college student piecing together a turbo build on weekends. A delivery driver who has swapped suspension parts in his own driveway. A mechanic who prefers the SI's simplicity over anything with a luxury badge. Next to it, the Infiniti G35 sits quietly, but there is nothing subtle about what is under the hood. This sedan packs a 3.5-liter V6, the same VQ35DE engine found in Nissan's pricier models, pushing out 300 horsepower in rear or all-wheel drive layouts. For under $6,000, you get a car that can out-accelerate many so-called performance sedans, with a soundtrack that puts synthetic luxury exhaust notes to shame. Owners love the G35 for its balance. Fast enough to embarrass a BMW at a stoplight, reliable enough to cross the country twice on a single timing chain. The do-it-yourself crowd swears by cheap upgrades, intakes, exhausts, coilovers, while the safety record keeps insurance costs reasonable. One high schooler calls it the ideal deal, a car that does everything his uncle's $60,000 sedan does, except break the bank. Then there is the BMW E90, the ultimate street sleeper. For less than $7,000, you get a sedan that looks like any other commuter on the outside, but feels every bit as sharp as its luxury siblings. The E90 shares suspension components and electronics with BMW's flagship models, but without the complexity that sends repair bills sky high. Enthusiasts know to avoid the turbo models if they want bulletproof reliability, sticking with the naturally aspirated straight six that can handle 250,000 miles with regular maintenance. Owners talk about saving thousands by doing their own work, brakes, fluids, even valve cover gaskets, turning a supposed money pit into a budget icon. The E90's steering and balance are still the benchmark for sport sedans, and when you are carving up a back road, nobody cares that you paid 1/10 the price of a new M3. These cars are not just flukes, they are the backbone of a community that values driving, wrenching, and outsmarting the system. Each owner brings their own story. The Civic side driver chasing lap times at the local track, the G35 owner racking up miles on cross-country road trips, the E90 enthusiast who has rebuilt half the car in his garage just because he can. They are not chasing status. They are chasing value, speed, and the kind of satisfaction you only get when you know every bolt on your car by heart. And while luxury dealers polish their showrooms and rehearse their sales pitches, these street sleepers are out on the road, quietly rewriting the rules of what a great car really is. Some cars are built for hauling groceries, others for hauling, well, everything else. But what happens when you find a car under $7,000 that is not just a practical daily driver, but can outrun, outhandle, and outfun machines that cost 10 times more? Enter the Mazda Speed 3, a hot hatch with a turbocharged punch that leaves luxury rivals in the rear view. Slide behind the wheel, and you are met with 263 horsepower, a 6-speed manual, and a chassis that feels like it was tuned by someone who loves corners more than straight lines. Owners talk about embarrassing $80,000 European hatches on back roads, then loading up the trunk with a week's worth of groceries. One family man uses his Speed 3 for school runs and cross-country trips, racking up 180,000 miles with nothing but oil changes and the occasional set of tires. The secret is not just the power. It is the way this car blends utility and adrenaline. Fold down the seats, and you have space for bikes, camping gear, or a couple of dogs. Fire up the turbo, and suddenly you are chasing down cars with AMG or M badges, all while knowing your repair bills are a fraction of theirs. Mechanics love the Speed 3 for its sturdy engine and simple layout. No endless menus to scroll through, no air suspension waiting to fail, just a car that begs to be driven hard and rewards you every mile. But not everyone wants turbocharged chaos. For some drivers, pure joy comes with the top down, a 5-speed manual, and the kind of steering feel that even luxury brands cannot replicate. The Mazda Miata, especially the NB generation, has become the go-to answer for anyone chasing driving bliss on a budget. Owners call it the most fun you can have under $5,000, and they mean it. One Miata hobbyist, a retired teacher, spends weekends swapping out wheels and tweaking the suspension, all for less than the cost of a single luxury car service visit. She has put more than 200,000 miles on her little roadster, driving it through rain, snow, and the occasional autocross. The Miata does not care about badges or status. It is about wind in your hair, a smile on your face, and a car that just keeps going. Reliability is legendary. Timing belts, fluids, and an occasional clutch are all it takes to keep these cars on the road for decades. Forums are packed with stories of Miata's surviving teenage owners, cross-country adventures, and track days, all while luxury convertibles rack up bills that would make a banker sweat. These two cars, one a turbocharged hatchback, the other a bare-bones roadster, prove that you do not need deep pockets to have a car that thrills you every single day. The Speed 3 is the Swiss Army knife of the budget world. Fast, practical, and just a little bit wild. The Miata is pure, distilled fun. No frills, no pretense. Just a car that makes every drive an event. Both come from a tradition of Japanese engineering that values durability over decoration, and both have outlasted flashier, pricier rivals in the real world. Ask their owners, and you will hear the same thing. It is not about impressing the neighbors. It is about enjoying the drive, trusting your car, and knowing you spent your money on something that delivers every time you turn the key. In a world obsessed with status, these cars are quiet revolutions, reminding everyone that real value is not found in a badge, but in the miles, memories, and smiles per dollar. And as the sun sets on another weekend drive, the luxury crowd is still wondering how a couple of used Mazdas just stole their thunder. A Honda Civic hatchback sits in a high school parking lot, its odometer quietly inching past 180,000 miles. For its owner, a college sophomore balancing classes and a part-time job, this car is not just transportation. It is the difference between getting to work on time and missing a shift. He fills the tank for less than $30, gets 36 miles per gallon, and does not worry about the next breakdown because, for him, they are almost unheard of. Oil, filters, brakes, that is all it asks for. When friends ask how it keeps going, he shrugs. It just does. 2 towns over, a fleet manager for a courier service glances at a spreadsheet. Dozens of Toyota Corollas and Camrys line his roster, each one a workhorse racking up 1,000 miles a week. These are not pampered garage queens. They are run hard, loaded with packages, stopped and started 100 times a day. The numbers tell the story. Annual repair costs average $400 per car, and most are still on their original engines after 150,000 miles. He has tried switching to luxury sedans in the past, chasing comfort and status, but the experiment did not last. The repair bills doubled, downtime soared, and drivers started fighting for the keys to the old Toyotas again. For a business built on reliability, nothing beats a Corolla that just keeps going. On the edge of town, a nurse begins her 60-mile commute in a Toyota Camry she picked up for $6,200. It is not flashy, but it has been reliable. It has never stranded her, not once, not in 5 years of night shifts, snowstorms, and highway construction. She has logged over 120,000 miles, never missed a shift, and never lost a weekend to a surprise repair. Fuel economy hovers near 33 miles per gallon, and every mechanic she has visited has the same advice: do not sell it. For these drivers, the appeal is not about horsepower or heated leather seats. It is about showing up every day with one less thing to worry about. Civic hatchbacks, Corollas, and Camrys have become the backbone of the daily grind, trusted by students, fleet operators, and commuters alike. They are not just affordable up front, they are affordable for the long haul, with low insurance premiums, cheap parts, and engines that outlast the latest tech fads. In a world where car trouble means missed paychecks or lost business, these so-called boring cars quietly deliver what luxury cannot: peace. And for millions of owners, that is worth more than any badge on the hood. A Honda CR-V bought for $6,500 has become the backbone of the Ramirez family in Minnesota. Over 5 winters, it has handled snowstorms, school drop-offs, and spontaneous road trips without complaint. The rear seats fold flat in a single motion, opening up more than 70 cubic feet of cargo space, room for camping gear, groceries, or a couple of bikes. While some SUVs advertise luxury, the CR-V quietly racks up miles with a 4-cylinder engine that shrugs off 200,000 on the odometer. Maintenance is simple: oil, brakes, tires. No costly surprises, and no need for dealership visits lined with marble. insurance stays low, gas mileage is in the high 20s, and replacement parts are everywhere. For the Ramirezes, it is not about prestige. It is about a car that starts every cold morning and keeps going year after year. In rural Vermont, Linda's 2009 Subaru Forester, purchased for $5,800, is caked in salt and mud. She is a retired teacher who depends on her Forester for everything, hauling firewood, groceries, even navigating a rutted driveway after a blizzard. 7 years in, it still starts at 20 below, thanks to Subaru's all-wheel drive. In snow country, this system has earned a reputation for reliability. While luxury crossovers spin their wheels or flash warnings, the Forester just digs in and moves. The back seats drop with a click, revealing a cargo area that rivals some full-size SUVs. Linda's neighbor once got stuck in the same driveway with a German luxury wagon, while her Forester cruised past, loaded with mulch and a dog in the back. Neither the CR-V nor the Forester is flashy. Interiors are built for muddy boots, spilled snacks, and the chaos of family life. Owners share stories online about Foresters running original engines at 250,000 miles, or CR-Vs that never need more than routine service. In snowbelt states, these cars are everywhere, outlasting luxury SUVs that cost 10 times as much but cannot match their dependability when the weather turns. For families like the Ramirezes and Linda, these cars are not just affordable. They are the vehicles you trust when it matters. True value is not in leather seats or a badge. It is in the miles, the memories, and the simple fact that these cars just keep showing up. A Mazda 3 slips through the city, its design quietly confident. For its owner, a young urban designer, the car is more than transportation. It is a daily expression of taste. The dashboard, inspired by classic timepieces, feels crafted rather than assembled. Every control falls naturally to hand, and the door closes with a solid, reassuring sound. Mazda's attention to detail is everywhere, from the steering wheel's perfect grip to seats that surprise with their comfort. The car's Japanese roots, precision, simplicity, and love of driving are woven into every mile. Each morning, parked among glass towers, it stands apart without trying. The Mazda 3 is not about status. It is about feeling at home in motion. In the suburbs, a Mustang GT shakes awake. Its owner, a longtime car club member, has owned many cars, but none with the Mustang's presence. For under $7,000, he bought more than a machine. He bought into a legacy. The long hood, fastback lines, and galloping pony badge are shorthand for decades of American muscle. At weekend meets, stories flow. Steve McQueen, drag strips, endless highways. The paint is faded, the interior worn, but each imperfection is a badge of honor. He is not after luxury, he is after connection, to history, to community, to the thrill that comes when the V8 roars and the world blurs past. A Honda Accord waits in a family's driveway. Chosen for its reputation, it became part of their routine. The trunk swallows strollers and groceries. The cabin remains calm on noisy streets, and the switches click with a quiet confidence. The Accord's design is modest, but its reliability is unwavering. For this family, the car is woven into memories, road trips, late-night drives, everyday errands. They passed on Flash for something that reflects their values, honesty, dependability, and the freedom to invest in what matters most. These cars do more than carry people. They become part of their owners' stories, shaped by heritage, thoughtful design, and the moments that linger long after the engine cools. A decade ago, features like heated seats, Bluetooth, and backup cameras were reserved for the showroom stars, cars with price tags that could buy a house in the Midwest. Today, a Hyundai Elantra sitting quietly on a used lot for under $7,000 comes loaded with tech that once defined the luxury tier. Slide behind the wheel and you will find touchscreen infotainment, steering wheel controls, and even Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in later models. Automatic climate control, keyless entry, and a full suite of safety features, lane departure warning and blind spot monitoring are all here, bundled into a package that costs less than a single luxury service visit. For tech-savvy drivers, the Elantra is more than a commuter. It is a rolling command center built for the realities of modern life. Need to stream music, navigate traffic, or answer calls hands-free? It handles it all with hardware and software that rival what is found in cars costing 10 times as much. Hyundai's warranty history is legendary. Many used Elantras still carry balance of powertrain coverage, giving buyers peace of mind that is rare even among new luxury vehicles. The cost to keep it running is low. Annual repair bills hover around $400, while parts are cheap and widely available. Compare that to the $1,200 or more you will spend each year just keeping a European luxury sedan on the road. The Elantra's tech is not just about convenience, it is about democratizing comfort and safety. Where luxury brands once justified sky-high prices with exclusive gadgets, now those features are standard on cars anyone can afford. A first-time buyer, a rideshare driver, or a parent sending their kid off to college all get the same access to life-saving tech and digital connectivity. The badge does not matter. The experience does. And as more buyers discover that their $7,000 sedan can match luxury in everything from safety to entertainment, the old lines between premium and practical start to blur. Dealers who built their business on selling prestige are watching as the tech gap closes and value wins the day. A reliability analyst sits behind a stack of service records, scanning columns of numbers that do not lie. Her verdict is blunt. The Toyota Camry is a buy it and relax car, breakdowns are rare, and owners spend less time in the shop than luxury buyers ever will. She is not alone. Industry reports pile up, each one chipping away at the myth that high price equals high quality. J.D. Power's 2025 study spells it out. Mainstream brands like Toyota and Honda average 150 to 170 problems per 100 vehicles after 3 years, while luxury names like BMW and Mercedes push past 210. The data is public, the patterns are clear, but the story told on showroom floors is very different. Dealerships are not blind to these numbers. Sales managers gather for morning meetings, rehearsing scripts that steer buyers towards certified pre-owned luxury or extended warranties. The pitch is polished. You are not just buying a car, you are buying peace, advanced technology, a badge that means something. But behind the scenes, sales staff know which cars come back with electrical gremlins and which ones just need an oil change every 5,000 miles. Some even admit, off the record, that they would send their own kids off to college in a used Civic or Corolla, not the brand new luxury lease their commission depends on. When pressed, dealerships defend their turf by pointing to luxury's soft touch leather, customizable ambient lighting, and the promise of status. They argue that advanced tech and comfort justify the cost, even as Consumer Reports surveys show that 54% of Toyotas and nearly half of Hondas pass the 200,000-mile mark, compared to less than 30% for BMW and Audi. The numbers undercut the sales pitch, but the business model depends on keeping the conversation away from total cost of ownership and long-term reliability. Analysts warn that the value gap is not shrinking, it is growing. More shoppers are armed with data, making it harder for dealers to rely on old tactics. The result is a tense standoff, evidence piling up on one side, polished smiles and practiced lines on the other. As the truth spreads, the pressure on the luxury segment only intensifies. A battered Subaru WRX rumbles into a cracked driveway, exhaust ticking as it cools. The owner, sleeves dusted with grease, checks his phone. Another message pops up, a friend wanting to buy his car. He laughs. 5 years ago, nobody cared about a high-mileage WRX. Now, thanks to a wave of online auctions and viral forum threads, prices are quietly climbing. A clean 2006 WRX that once traded hands for pocket change is now fetching $7,000 and up, with some models rumored to be climbing 10%, even 20%, in the past year alone. The reason? Durability and heritage. Subaru's rally-bred all-wheel drive and the legendary EJ engine are not just marketing lines. Owners show receipts, 180,000 miles on the original block, turbo still pulling strong, timing belt swapped twice, and a clutch that refuses to quit. It is not just gearheads who have noticed. Market analysts are starting to track these spikes, warning that the days of the $5,000 WRX may be over. Supply is tightening as enthusiasts snap up the best examples, and every new video about budget performance pushes prices a little higher. Dealers, once happy to ignore these beater sports sedans, now scramble to source inventory as buyers line up with cash. The WRX owner shakes his head at the offers stacking up in his inbox. He knows what he has, a car that has survived snowstorms, track days, and daily commutes without complaint. He has seen the numbers. Luxury cars lose half their value in 3 years, while his Subaru holds steady or even gains. The rally legend is no longer a secret. As the sun sets, the future of budget performance looks less certain. Will the next wave of buyers find deals, or will demand drive prices out of reach? For now, the WRX sits quietly, a reminder that the best cars under $7,000 are not just bargains. They are ticking bombs in the used car market. Dealers are watching, buyers are circling, and the clock is running out. Right now, buyers are rewriting the rules, choosing reliability and real value over status symbols with inflated price tags. As consumer data exposes luxury markups, the used car market shifts in favor of people who do their homework. Dealers cannot hide the facts. Smart choices drive real change. The roads ahead belong to those who see past the badge. What would you rather park in your driveway? Let us talk below.